Aisha Yesufu, I wanted Goodluck Ebele Jonathan to be removed, and I worked towards it. And I do not owe anybody an apology for having the right to use my own, how's that English, inalienable right to vote at an incompetent president. That some people, Nigerians who have turned themselves to oxygen-wasting vessels, who think that they are slaves and they are not citizens, they are calling on me to apologize for voting at an incompetent president.
The level of interference by the Obama's government was very overwhelming. It's not as if I couldn't have won the election even with that. But if by my own thinking, and also the way some other people look at it, they go outside the normal diplomatic relationship. Nigeria at the eve of election, after Obama even issued a statement directing Nigerians to vote for the next chapter. That tells you something. And we should not sweep this things under the carpet. If a foreign country, or an African country, or even America or any other country interferes with our own elections, we should make the Chibok issue came up. We expect Nigerians to be concerned. How do we get these girls out? Within a couple of days, we saw people going to the US would bring back our girls' placards. How? Why? And of course, the Mrs. Obama received one of those placards. I cannot take responsibility for the abduction. I don't control Boko Haram. They are criminals. But as a president, of course, you know, it's not the president that go to the field. You have security and intelligence officers that do the work. Let me admit that, yes, maybe they do their best, but their best was not good enough for us to...
Now, as you know, there are lots of allegations flying around. You've responded to them on your very popular YouTube channel. But lots of allegations flying around about the NGO that you co-convened, the Bring Back Our Girls campaign, allegations that it was sponsored from abroad in an attempt to destabilize the government of President Goodluck Jonathan and ultimately unseat him. What's your reaction to that?
So my first reaction is the fact that the Bring Back Our Girls movement is not an NGO. Neither is it a civil society organization. It's a movement of people who got tired. Things that have been happening recently, a lot more people are coming to the conclusion that indeed there was abduction, because it took us years. People were saying there was no abduction. So that's one on that one side. So it's a movement. It's not an NGO. And BBOG, the Bring Back Our Girls movement, has never ever received anything from anyone. We, the members, decided that we were going to self-fund it. We'll put our empathy on the line, we'll put our humanity in. Whatever we need, we will use our own money to do it. What
but there
our
have been
needs?
Contributions made to
by members. No,
right.
Not if you're not a member, nobody collected anything from you. And Aisha Yesufu, I'll be able to say, because I was the sit-out coordinator for quite a number of time before I became the strategic team strategic team lead of Bring Back Our Girls movement. So I led the movement for some years. I think from around, was it 2015 to like 2018, 19? I'm not sure. And the Bring Back Our Girls movement.
Hello my people, welcome back to Niger Pidgin. I want to know as the before here. Aisha Yusuf now has come out to say why he did not vote for Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. I mean to say during the 2015 election. Though all this issue where we say they go on that time, though we know normally say okay during Goodluck Ebele Jonathan administration, we know say everything was okay. Like the only thing where we say we get issue with that time like be Boko Haram and kidnapping. Though the kidnapping and the stuff that was happening that time, like many of us know that Buhari and the rest of the politicians, now then they set them up, now then they put set up for around that time, and everybody know that one. But you get within Goodluck Ebele Jonathan do where you say okay, me I never still understand up till now. Okay, let's assume now say okay, you where they hear me now you dey power now. Like will you allow person wey be say no dey power to even like work against you or to destroy you to that extent, to the extent they destroy Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. Like all this thing, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, which he do all this thing where we say they pass through now, all this suffering and everything where we say we pass through now. I fit tell you say now Goodluck Ebele Jonathan na him be the causes, because if to say that man, if to say him calm down, like he take care of everything that time, all this thing for no day. And waiting me, as for me, waiting that man come out like for that time, now for your own pocket, now he come out for after he don't lost for 4 years. Him when he supposed like when the power is supposed put body like to win the second tenor. This man just do gra come out based on say okay for the first 4 years, we say he don't get his own money now. Now why he comot that time, can't leave us the suffer. Now why he leave seat for Buhari that time? We know say normally now he leave for him. If to say okay him he dey serious since now he dey power that time, nobody for fee like win now, then therefore no fee win now that time based on say person with deep power, it could dey very hard to unseat the person. Now wetin we know about this Nigerian election. So let's go back to Aisha Yusuf matter. Like although Aisha Yusuf we see she dey talk like she did very right based on say wetin Goodluck they do like that time it be no dey well sha, though hunger and suffering like this in be no today when Goodluck dey hunger and everything no dey. The only thing wey be say e dey that time na him be killing of people, like they kill people anyhow that time. So and that one na be the worst thing. Like even as hunger dey now, we say okay we know dey today hear bad news from all the angle now. Okay, everywhere is calm based on say okay now only hunger now we the face. We and nobody like they like make he hear bad news like for your own family. Okay, it better make we dey face this hunger than they hear bad news from every angle. Waiting Goodluck Ebele Jonathan do that time, he no try at all. Even as him say, okay, they work against this person, which be that president, that American president named that time again. Even as he say that man work against him, like even as he say that man and Buhari na them work against him before they fit come out. Me, I go say that one a lie. Him, know this serious that time. Like he just come for his own pocket money. As he don't get his own money, he'll come out, leave us for this suffering. To say he put body that time. All this thing we saying this they happen now, if no fit happen. Based on say okay, now you be Nigerian president now. You will be say okay, supposed to load army, load police and all the forces now. Where you supposed to load them, go the fight all this Boko Haram. Where we say they spoil your own government that time. This man just dey calm. Within this man, they try secure that time. Now your own arena for the place where your own compound dey. At that time, now he load army, air force and police that time. Based on say no one make anything happen to your own family. Now only your own family now they protect that time. So for that thing went into that time, he no try at all, because he no get anybody where we say he did this country now. Like where go on here and say okay they don't buy he or his sister for this social place. You know say that time self like to go church it can't they hard everybody, because Sunday Boko Haram like you get one certain time we be say me I even the church, you get one church like that as I just they come out for the church now they put bomb for the church. Although it was God that saved me that time, if not okay I wouldn't have even be alive. So like see today to talk to you today, but God make it possible for us to like stay alive today. I don't know be something I will give God. So like even people will be see them by that time, although their family member like never see forget, because like to lose person now be the most worst thing, like to lose person for your life now be the most worst thing that could ever happen to anybody. Me I know they pray make anything happen to anybody family now waiting. Even as we dey face this thing for this Tinubu tenure now, even as we know say normally hunger the key person, and we know say normally him now only these 4 years now him go feel lost based on say we get God, and our God will never fail us. Na only these 4 years, na him go rule us. After these 4 years, God will bring better person where we see him go on sit am. We know that one. God will bring better person. Even as seen dey there, the threatening Nigerians say the next election now go dey worse. It go dey worse than the one where we see they do for 2023. When they talk that one, me, my own belief is that okay, God is watching everything that is happening, so God no go allow him. God no go allow him do wetin he do us for the 2023 election. We see in sub, and also like person where we see he won't come now. Person where we see they come for the next one now. Make that person with him advice for the person. We see although we know see normally Peter Obi might likely come back that time. He might likely come back. When he comes back, look, once he don't come back with that one, me at the advice and say okay, me indeed ready that time, because me I've been seeing and say okay, the last one we see they do that man he be no full body, because into the like I don't even know how to put time, because he no too full body. Now why we say all this thing it happened that time. So we see me I get to tell Peter Obi now, we say make him focus, like for the next one we see in the come, make him focus so that we no go lose that one. We will say we obedience, and we will say we want a better thing for this country, and we no go feel them. Although we stand with them, like for the next one we say in the come, we will never give up on them. So you will see the hear me now, like at the advice here, I beg make you no give up on them too, because this country now, like it don't turn something else. This country is turning to something else. Like where person if you use 10 naira go before, you know, if you even use 1,000 go again for this current situation of this country. So which me I get to tell you about this matter, we say make you no give up on Peter Obi and whoever that is coming for the next presidential election. So make nobody give up on the person. So now my advice for all of them be this. And also I beg make you no skip any part of this video, because this Aisha Yusuf that you are seeing on the screen now, he never talk finish. Make you no skip any part of this video, I beg. And also if not today be the first time we say if they come across Ninja Pidgin channel, I beg make you like our video, make you share, and also make you subscribe, so that anytime we say we drop any ogbonge update for this channel, now you go be the first person we say they will notify. Thank you.
Another thing that a lot of people have forgotten is the fact that before the abduction of of Chibok girls, Buniyadi boys had been slaughtered in their school. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, and I'm calling him out. He never said a word. How heartless, how callous can you be? Children the terrorists took them down and slit their necks in front of other students. There was a girl that we knew. Her brother was slaughtered in front of her. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan never said a word. His administration spokesperson, they didn't say a word until 2015, when the Bring Back Our Girls movement did an anniversary of that, and that was a few weeks to election. And people sit down. We are focused on the president who didn't protect girls that had gone to school. And one other thing that Nigerians keep forgetting is the fact that at the time that Chibok girls abduction happened, there was state of emergency in Borno State. Meaning the federal government, the military were more in charge than the governor. Because there were even people who were saying, well, why did they even leave the governor to still be in charge since a state of emergency had been imposed? Because I see a lot of people who say to us, why were you making demands in Abuja? Why didn't you go to Borno? And the first thing I said to such people, what were you doing? Why didn't they go to Borno? Because there's nobody that is meant to come out to protest. Every one of us were supposed to have protested. The federal government, it is when we demand, and this is what we always say, when we were making demands for Chibok girls, and we're still doing for the rest that are still not back home, we're not doing them a favor. And it's not a privilege. It's their right, as enshrined in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, for them to have been brought back home. Nigeria failed them by allowing them to be abducted. And the next best thing was to have brought them back immediately, which they didn't do. And we've been on the street and we're still making demands. And I see people who come out, people who are devoid of empathy, like I said earlier. We make accusation that it was political. It was done to remove Jonathan. Really? People died. Jonathan was busy doing his shenanigans. PDP said for 60 years nobody was going to remove them. They left children to die.
Even if it wasn't at the instigation of US aid. I mean, you did want
there's
Jonathan
nothing
to,
about
you wanted Jonathan to leave office, didn't you?
There is nothing that connects USA,
no, I know.
ID,
I'm saying
and
even if it wasn't at their instigation, you clearly wanted Jonathan out of office, given the things you've just said. I mean, you didn't...
Myself really, personally, or the movement?
Well, you and
absolutely, absolutely. The movement had nothing to do with Jonathan.
Right.
The movement was apolitical, and it maintained that. And one of the things was that at the Unity Fountain, where we met, no talk of politics was allowed. And this is the thing. There were people from different political parties. They were all parts of the movement. There was never a time we had political talk. Even I remember Dr. Obi Ezekwesili would always insist, you know, sometimes when members are angry and they're referring to the president with just his name, you know, Goodluck or Ebele or G, she would say, no, you must add the president because he happens to be the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. But Aisha Yesufu, yes, I wanted Jonathan to be removed because he was clueless, he was incompetent, he had failed, there was so much corruption. Nigeria was borrowing money to pay salaries. Nigeria was borrowing money to service debt. We are going through so much. There was such corruption. We had monies that were meant to buy arms, were being used, were being stolen, and all of that. So Aisha Yesufu, I wanted Goodluck Ebele Jonathan to be removed, and I worked towards it. And I do not owe anybody an apology for having the right to use my own, how's that English, inalienable right to vote out an incompetent president. That some people, Nigerians who have turned themselves to oxygen wasting vessels, who think that they are slaves and they are not citizens, they are calling on me to apologize for voting out an incompetent president just because the people that came after him failed. Well, and this is the thing. Let me just round up on this, Charles. Nigerians, I see now when people are talking, they are comparing Jonathan to Buhari, who is an abysmal failure, and to Tinubu, who has failed woefully. How do you do that? Are they okay? So we should look at the moment somebody fails more, then the other one now becomes better. No, why don't they compare the time that Jonathan was there with the time that Yar'Adua was there and with the time that Obasanjo was there? That's how you do comparison. People sit down and say that, oh, in hindsight, in hindsight, do you know what I expected from the people? Was that Nigerians who say enough is enough and never again. And that anybody who does anywhere, we will vote you out. But we had people who sat down and refused to do what they're supposed to do and said that it's other people they want to help them vote out. And for every one of them, I say to you, if you said I voted out Jonathan, why didn't you keep him in? After all, was he not the incubator? And they were telling us that it would take 60 years without anything. You know what? I just the pain we went through. And let me tell you something. In January, I can't remember the specific day now. In January, 2,000 people were killed in Baga. President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan at that time did not say anything. A few days after, Charlie Hebdo, I can't remember how many, was it 8 or something like that? Yeah. Some people were killed.
In Paris, France.
In France, Charlie Hebdo attack.
The magazine.
Guess what? Goodluck Ebele Jonathan dared, without being afraid of Nigerians, he sent them a condolence message. And that was the time that Malema of South Africa,
Julius
Malema, called him an irresponsible leader. If Nigerians want to sit down and turn themselves to slaves and forget where they're coming from because it has worsened, there are some people who say, oh, Jonathan should have been kept. He's the best thing after Jollof Rice because they could buy tickets for 10,000 naira from Abuja to Lagos. For those people, the message I have is that those who have died, they don't know that ticket is now 300,000. And when they could buy the ticket for 10,000 naira, there were others who couldn't afford it. There were people who were running from insurgency in the Northeast. And there was a woman who had a miscarriage, and she didn't know she had a miscarriage. That was how frightened people were. We had our military, they were running away. Our own military running away from a ragtag army, entering Cameroon. What did they call it then? They said it was tactical withdrawal. What did we not see? And today they dare to tell us all sorts of things. Whoever it is, you said whatever, let them go and fight whoever is funding what. The Bring Back Our Girls movement is a movement that is self-funded, and no matter what they try to do, they will not take away the pain that we went through to ensure that Chibok girls are brought back. Well, we have some who are back anyway.
You mentioned the fact that the army was facing a formidable force in Boko Haram. I mean, doesn't it strike you as a bit odd, and perhaps give credence to the allegations of potential funding coming from different places, that I mean, a group like Boko Haram could have become so well armed and so well funded and so well trained to take on a national army such as the Nigerian
We
army?
remember soldiers writing letters to Jonathan and telling him of the corruption that was happening. And they also wrote to Buhari. None of them did anything, telling them of the corruption that were going on. As of that time, we had, even the military would try some of their soldiers who were selling arms to Boko Haram. And so the corruption that was going on there, and we asked a lot, even when Jonathan said he had sent 20,000, soldiers to the Northeast, the people of the Northeast came out and said they didn't see any 20,000 soldiers. Let me tell you something. I think it was that same 2014 that Iraq did, what was this thing called? When you're, oh Lord, the word, I'm missing the word now, sort of like checking their military, and they fired about 50,000 ghost soldiers. And we're also calling on the Nigerian military to do the same thing. Because when you have ghost soldiers, this is what they don't just take money away from the economy, they also kill lives. Because where they're supposed to be, they're no longer there. So we had an issue whereby it was almost as if there was compromise in the military. And we asked of these things repeatedly, what's going on? Even the Chibok girls, there were countries who came and said they wanted to help bring them back. There were some who said after they did that, they were going to, is it sort of like use gas or something? And the next thing, the terrorists were wearing, gas masks. A lot of people, even in the south, in the northeast, will tell you that when they go give information to the military, before you know what's happening, the informants are the ones who are being killed. We live in Nigeria. We've seen the corruption going on. Even up to today, there have been a lot of allegations of connivance between the military and terrorists. We've seen connivance between custom and smugglers. We've seen connivance between Navy and people who are stealing our oil. We've seen literally, even with EFCC, we've seen a lot of reports on this. Are we talking as if we don't live in Nigeria, where we've seen security agents who are supposed to protect the people, protect the territorial integrity of Nigeria, protect the people? We connive with the criminals themselves. It's just like when I asked you, let me ask, most of the criminals we have today, a lot of people, there are a lot of reports that they have more sophisticated arms than our police. Is it the same funding that they are receiving? Currently, I think there's something that the Senate is doing, is saying in the police armory, about 3,000 something rifles are missing. The police is saying, no, they're doing back and forth. Who is it that is funding it? Whatever is the funding, you understand? Sure. And Bring Back Our Girls, we did a statement. We said we are interested. If you have any evidence or information, not just to make baseless allegation and you have nothing to back it up, because somebody who is known as a conspiracy theorist, say sometimes English they want to do us anyhow, but anyway, we shall go to school. Someone who is known for conspiracy theory comes out and says something. We are the Bring Back Our Girls movement. Anybody that has any evidence that, there's any money that Bring Back, we are interested in knowing.
Well, one of the people who's talked about the Bring Back Our Girls campaign and about yourself was, of course, the investigative journalist David Hundeyin. I mean, I don't want to get bogged down in all the things, because a lot of it is in the media, but there is considerable disquiet in activist circles that you and Mr. Hundeyin are having this kind of debilitating public spats. Those who are unhappy say you're both from the same side,
no,
and should be
side.
working.
Sometimes our goals align.
And should be working together, not against each other, for the good of Nigeria. Well, what is your reaction?
So for me, because David Hundeyin is not here, I really don't want to waste so much energy. He doesn't have the right to reply, because I like if somebody wants to talk, let's look at each other eyeball to eyeball. So when they say, first of all, I don't even see myself as an activist. I'm an active Nigerian citizen. I want Nigeria to work, and I'll be there to do it. David Hundeyin, like I've said, in the last, I think now this should be the 4th year we've had this, and it's a yearly thing, sometimes twice a year, where he tried, and I've dared him. I did a video, I've written, I said I triple dare David Hundeyin, I quadruple dare him. All the investigation he has done on Aisha Yesufu, let him publish them. You understand? When I talk, I have a big mouth, figuratively and physically, and I love to use it. He has done a lot of investigation. What's our problem? Our problem started in 2021, and the reason was because I said PDP and APC are the same. The same thing in late 2022, he will also agree that PDP and APC are the same. And he has gone at every instant that he does that. I don't have a problem. And if you have evidence, and this is what I've tweeted this, and I've said it in my videos, that why is it that David Hundeyin is an investigative journalist until he comes to Aisha Yesufu? Then he's just left with just dropping in windows and trying to make things that they never match. Can he bring out this evidence? I'm waiting. I've been waiting with popcorn and smoothie, hush smoothies that they sell at Grand Square. I love it. I've been waiting, and I want him to drop whatever evidence that he has. Not to just be making, all of these innuendos and just baseless accusations that don't have anything. If it's Bring Back Our Girls movement, and he said that Bring Back Our Girls movement, if funded, bring out the evidence.
Okay,
because we know we are self-funded. We are the ones who contributed our money. You know one thing, Charles, you know the thing I love about Nigeria is that Nigeria has capacity to deal with everyone. A lot of people who said there was no Chibok girls abduction, some of them have paid ransom. Unfortunately, some of them have died. Every one of us is a victim waiting to happen. The question I always ask is, who is next? Because yesterday's victims were once survivors. Today's victims were yesterday's survivors. And tomorrow's victims would be today's survivors. Those who thought that when it was happening to Chibok, it was none of their business, say it has reached everybody now. And I ask, is it you say that it's funding what is happening in the southeast?
Yeah, well, let me move on.
If you do anyhow where I did, you will see anyhow. Yes, I don't look for trouble. But when trouble comes looking for me, I grab it with my two hands and I welcome it.
If somebody hits you with a stick, you'll hit with a sledge.
I will break every bone.
You'll hit
in your
with a
hand.
sledgehammer.
I will do it. It's called self-defense. But you see one thing, I would never, even as a child, I would never hit you. On the issue of Shehu Kuti, he did a video. We went for an interview. I'm not even going to go. I've done that one in my YouTube video. We went for an interview, and he decided to take a jab at me, feeling that he grew up in, what's that thing they call the shrine, and he's feeling ghetto. I grew up in the ghetto. We had no food. We were eating insults as food. So if you come to me that you want to now say, I'm not going to lie down low for you. So he came at me, and I gave it to him. In the case of El-Rufai was governor and decided that he wanted to be an emperor. Small governor that they gave him, he entered, he said, he's out now. The same El-Rufai, I think it was 2020 or 2019, that said to me that I'm jobless and I don't have address. He's also jobless, he doesn't have address. All of us now, we don't have address. Who is the next person that you say? So that one came at me. I don't have a problem with anyone, but if you come at me, I'm not going to leave you. And one thing is that there are people who sort of want people to behave in a certain way. And there's something about me that annoys a lot of people, and I'm okay with it, because if you go to my Twitter profile, it says I don't do labels. I say it as it is. My mom says in my court nobody wins. You will either love me or hate me, and neither one is perfectly okay, because I have enough love for myself. I tell people, you can't say I like Aisha. You always say, oh my goodness, I love her, or oh my God, I hate her, and I'm okay. I love dissenting opinions, but for some people, my consistency has been a problem to them. Because for 10 years, they've been saying that, oh, we will show you who Aisha is. Aisha is not who you think she is. And I'm like, bring it on. I don't have a problem. And in everything that I do, because I saw one of the tweets that David Hunde did, he was saying that, oh, they will now remove the label. Oh, some people are now forced to remove the label of NSAS, an obedient movement. I don't need NSAS label. Neither do I need obedient label. I don't need label. I'm the label. I am Aisha Yusufu. That's it. Nothing else. Nothing more.
X, you have more than two.